Good morning, everyone. This is the third time we had some difficulties. Surely our country has faced enormous challenges and disappointments. Many people are still out of their work, and children are struggling with school as they take school online. And there are also so many tremendous and anxiety strife along political, cultural, racial lines, and some churches are closed or partially open, and for many, they see the future unknown. On some level, those disappointment, confusions, and pains that many of us feel today resemble the disappointment of first disciples and their experience on Good Friday and the time between Christ was crucified and the time that he resurrected. I hope that we understand that. Welcome back, everyone, to our Facebook Live each Wednesday and Saturday at 10 o'clock Central Time. We are so happy you are here. I'm here to answer your question, and I'm happy that you are sending your questions to me. Your question for today is how to get over your disappointment or a disappointment. The kind of answer is we have to live expectantly and not with expectancy. I will outline for you everything about this, but for more training, you can go to virginiaprodanobooks.com/freedom coaching. Send us your question and we will help you. I keep thinking what it was like for the disciples after the crucifixion and of Christ and before the resurrected Christ as he revealed himself to them. The disciples expected Palm Sunday to open a new era for them, a triumph victory for Israel. They expected Jesus to defeat and expel the Roman forces from their land. After the crucifixion, the disciples had to deal with the reality that God did not do what they expected. I can, and many people can relate to their frustration. I heard many people ask in my life, why doesn't God end war, hunger, child abuse, or all the other bad things that we see in our world? I hope you heard them too. Like many of us today, the disciples had hope that God would deliver redemption as they expected. But that hope died with them when Christ was crucified. Yes, I know the story tells that Christ was resurrected, and with his resurrection, his was resurrected. Soon the disciple understood that their disappointment was only temporary. It's encouraging to me to think about those closest to Christ, wondering what had happened to their plans during those disappointment days. It's encouraging because I know how prone I am to make plans and assume that God is on board with my plans. It makes the happy ending of Easter even happier to me and encouraging. You see, God took the disciples from their disappointment of the unmet expectation to the jubilation of exceeding expectations of God. I hope we learned that. They didn't expect too much from God to start with. In fact, they expected too little from God. That was their mistake. But Jesus deliver redemption, and conquer that and the world for them and for us. Knowing the disciple had those few days of disappointment, and that reminds me that there is a difference between living with expectation and living expectantly from God. When I live with my own expectations, I set myself up many times for disappointment. When I live expectantly of what God can bring, and I'm open to his blessings, like the joy of an empty tomb Easter morning comes in my life. It's difficult to get through life without feeling disappointment or disappointed. We all experience that. Expectations in itself or by themselves can help us to look forward with anticipation to a desired future. Expectations can help us be focused, motivated, and have a critical and important goal setting process. However, when you and I set goals and we create desired outcomes from ourselves that won't come to fruition, then we get disappointed. We need to be prepared to handle those disappointments. Well, the question is how? I'm glad you asked. Number one is acknowledge how you feel about the situation, about the disappointment in your life. Admit it openly and honestly. Hiding your disappointment will only keep you stuck in that situation. That's not good. Ask yourself clear questions that will help you get a better understanding of the situation or your disappointment. Was I clear about what I wanted? Why was I attached to this specific outcome? Was I realistic about my expectations? How will I benefit from letting this go? That's a hard one. Will this disappointment really matter in 6 months, a year, or 10 years from now? What type of resources could assist me to move successfully to my next goals? How can I best use those resources next time? And next, we'll take to the second point. Limit how long you let yourself feel bad about this disappointment. The vast majority of people tend to stay in their disappointment. That often lead to self-doubt, discouragement, and even depression over long time. And they end up living a life they don't want to live. This is especially true when people experience a series of disappointments in their life over a short period of time. These disappointments weigh heavy on their mind and soon on their soul. As a result, they tend to get overrun by negative thoughts and emotions, debilitating type of emotions. When you get caught in this type of negative circle of disappointment, you get down on yourself and tend to remain in that self-pity situation. And you start to say to yourself, I'm just not good enough. Nothing even works for me. This always happens to me. That's not true. However, disappointment can be an incredible and powerful tool that will help you clarify your personal expectations and will help you establish steps to attain, to accomplish your goals. But for that, You have to stop dwelling on the disappointment and move on. Because if you remain there, you will only be discouraged. You will hurt your ability to focus, to concentrate, to be a problem solver, or to be creative. So do not feed the disappointment, because that will deepen your emotional hurt. Avoid self pity, that will take away your empowerment, make you feel out of control like a victim, which you are not. You only foster a bad mood and depression. It's not good. Instead, be teachable. Use self-compassion. Yes, be sympathetic towards yourself, take care of yourself, but don't beat yourself up and become self-critical. It's not good. Doing so, you only hurt your confidence, damage your self-esteem, and make you feel even worse. More, take time to learn about your experience. Take a piece of paper and write down what you learned from your particular experience or your disappointment about yourself, about how you set up your expectation, how you change your approach next time, and how you can do better. This will open your eyes to new perspectives and possibilities. And that takes me to number 3. Open your eyes and your mind to see everything in perspective in your life. Even when your disappointment was significant, focus rather on larger picture of your life. Learn from each experience or disappointment and identify your next opportunity, because success does not equal happiness. Learn from that. With that in mind, take a personal inventory of the type of skills and talents and knowledge that you have that will help you make the most and better on your next situation. The type of tools and supports at your disposal around you that will help you next time. How you use your strength and those resources next time. Answering those questions will help you to see that you are in control. In fact, you have incredible resources. Everything that is around you, you have it to turn your disappointment into a positive and empowering experience. It's up to you. Consider each disappointment in your life as a problem solver, a problem that needs to be solved in your life or for your life. But to solve this problem successfully, you need to cultivate optimism, patience, gratitude, flexibility, trust in God, and to fire your enthusiasm for your mission and for your business. In addition to everything else, learn the difference between living with expectations and living expectantly. When I live with my own expectation, I set up myself for disappointment many times, not all the time, but many times. When I live expectantly and I'm open to God and to his blessings, like the joy of an empty tomb on Easter morning to come in my life. Remember, God took the disciples from their disappointment of unmet expectation to God's joyful, exceeding expectation that he had for them and for us. Remember, they did not expect too much from God. They expected too little. That was their mistake. Are we doing the same thing now? So it's time for us to learn to live expectantly, open to the blessings that God wants to bring in our lives, like the joy of an empty tomb on Easter morning. If you need more training on that, please go to virginiaprodanbooks.com/freedom coaching and we will help you. Tell us your needs, exactly specific for your business, for your life, and we will help you. Keep in touch of us. Until next time, every Wednesday and Saturday at 10 o'clock, Facebook Live, 10 o'clock Central Time. Feel free to contact us and have a wonderful day, a wonderful Easter, and be blessed. Bye bye.